There's a lot of discussion about abusive relationships. Most of it describes symptoms, not the mechanism. Here's the mechanism. Victims and predators are produced by the exact same installation, just with opposite directional flow. They contain identical emotional components, shame and aggression, but process them in mirror-inverted ways. This isn't abstract theory. You can observe this process directly by looking at how these patterns are installed in childhood. A child feels natural anger when someone crosses their boundaries. Parent hits them, takes their toys, invalidates their feelings, violates their space. The child's system generates the correct response, anger. This anger should mobilize defense, establish boundaries, push back against violation. But the parent intercepts this response. Don't you dare be angry at me. You should be ashamed of yourself for feeling that way. Anger is bad, you're bad for being angry. The anger that should flow outward toward the boundary violation gets rerouted. It turns inward. The child learns, when someone violates me, I don't get angry at them, I get ashamed of myself. The aggression doesn't disappear, it transforms into self-attack. The child becomes their own punisher. They police themselves, suppress themselves, attack themselves for having natural defensive responses. This is the victim configuration. Aggression transforms into shame directed inward. Another child encounters the same shame installation attempts. You're defective, you're wrong, you should feel bad about yourself. But when people who develop psychopathic patterns describe their childhood, they tell a different story. Not about pain or feeling unloved, they describe arbitrary power, rules that change without logic, punishment without explanation, humiliation without reason. Today's acceptable, tomorrow you're destroyed for the same thing. Their conclusion wasn't something's wrong with me, it was the system is absurd. They also describe a critical discovery, often a single moment or a series of moments. Aggression worked. They responded with anger, attacked back, made the source afraid, and the attacks stopped. The adults backed off. Fear proved more effective than submission. From that point forward, any hint of shame triggering became a danger signal requiring immediate aggressive discharge, because that's what worked when submission made things worse. This is the psychopath configuration. Shame transforms into aggression directed outward. Research calls this genetic fearlessness or low responsiveness to parenting. But what if it's something else? What if some children are simply more resistant to accepting installed programming? What researchers measure as loving, stable homes still use shame as baseline control, moral conditioning, guilt, what will people think. These children reject that installation, whether it comes through direct abuse or loving moral guidance. They recognized shame as a control mechanism and refused to accept it as internal monitoring system. But here's the critical part. They rejected shame while accepting hierarchy. They didn't exit the system, they switched positions within it, because they never experienced functional equality. Only 3 options existed in their environment. You're crushed, you're threatening, or you disappear, without experiencing horizontal interaction where vulnerability doesn't equal destruction. That pattern never forms. So they chose the only stable position they could see without accepting shame, dominance through aggression. Not freedom, just a different role in the same hierarchical structure. For them, being in inferior position equals destruction, not metaphorically, but based on direct childhood experience where showing weakness intensified attacks. So they're existentially dependent on maintaining superior position through constant aggression. Both children have the same emotional components, shame and aggression. Neither is missing an emotion. The difference is directional flow. In the victim, boundary violation generates anger, which transforms into shame, which directs inward as self-attack. In the psychopath, potential shame arises, which transforms into aggression, which directs outward as attack on others. These aren't opposite types, these are mirror processes. The same transformation mechanism running in reverse directions. The system doesn't produce good people with shame versus bad people without shame. It produces two types of dysfunction optimized for different hierarchical positions. Victims are optimized for the bottom. They self-police, self-suppress, turn all defensive energy inward. They're perfect for subordinate positions, compliant, unlikely to challenge authority, constantly monitoring themselves for defects. Predators rejected shame installation but accepted hierarchical positioning. They're trapped in constant dominance maintenance. Vulnerability equals annihilation in their experience. They discharge all discomfort outward, attacking threats to position. Useful for enforcement, willing to hurt, immune to shame control, existentially dependent on staying superior. Both serve the system, both maintain hierarchical structure, just from different positions. The system needs both types because hierarchy requires vertical positioning. You need people who accept inferior positions and people who enforce those positions. If everyone developed autonomous functioning, understanding consequences through logic, having actual empathy, taking responsibility without positioning games, the whole structure would collapse. This is why the system always frames it as binary choice. Be a victim or be a predator. Feel shame or feel anger. Get controlled or control others. It never mentions the third option. Neither transformation, neither directional flow, neither positioning. What would that look like? Child experiences boundary violation. Anger arises naturally. Instead of being rerouted inward as shame or amplified outward as attack, it functions as information. This boundary matters. This violation isn't acceptable. The anger mobilizes appropriate defense, establishing the boundary clearly, removing themselves from the situation, addressing the violation directly. Then it completes. No endless internal shame loop. No external aggression discharge. Just functional response to functional information. Child makes a mistake that hurts someone. Instead of shame flooding in, I'm fundamentally defective, or immediately converting to attack, actually they deserved it, there is simple recognition. My action caused this outcome. I understand the impact, I'll address it. Empathy operates as understanding rather than performance. Responsibility emerges from causality rather than positioning. Then it is done. No perpetual self-punishment, no deflection onto others, just cause, effect, response, completion. This is what the system can't allow you to see, that emotional processing can work without transformation, without directional routing, without positioning games, that anger can mobilize defense without becoming shame, that recognition of harm caused doesn't require shame or deflection, that you can understand consequences and take responsibility without occupying superior or inferior position in imaginary hierarchy. The victim and predator configurations both require constant transformation of one emotion into another, constant rerouting, constant positioning. The autonomous configuration requires none of this because it operates outside the framework that generates the need for transformation in the first place. Each configuration perpetuates itself through feedback loops. The victim experiences violation, transforms anger into shame, attacks themselves. This makes them safer targets for future violation because they won't defend themselves effectively. More violation generates more opportunities to practice the transformation. The pattern deepens. Eventually, anger at violation doesn't even fully form, it converts to shame immediately and automatically. The victim becomes the perfect subordinate. The predator experiences potential shame, transforms it into aggression, attacks outward. This eliminates immediate discomfort, but creates more situations that would generate shame in someone with different processing. They've hurt people, violated boundaries, created damage. But each situation just triggers more transformation. More shame attempts generate more aggression discharge. The pattern deepens. Eventually, they don't even register shame beginning to form. It converts to attack immediately, automatically. The predator becomes the perfect enforcer. Both are trapped in transformation loops. Both are constantly processing emotions through conversion rather than direct experience and response. Both are locked into their hierarchical positions. They fit together like puzzle pieces. That's why abusive relationships aren't a glitch. They're natural by design. And that's why this shit is so hard to overcome through willpower. These mechanisms are the operating system, which means you can't change relationship patterns without uninstalling the operating system itself.